Hello children, welcome to the digital classes. I hope you are all excited to learn some interesting concepts in mathematics. Okay, let us start our session, but before that, as usual, we are going to recollect some of the concepts that we have already learned in our previous classes. Okay children, let us start. Children, do you know what is meant by data? You are right. The information which is in the form of numbers or maybe words and helps in taking some decisions or drawing some conclusions is called data. For example, in your school there is a midday meal program every day, right? So, daily we are going to take some information like how many are going to take the midday meals and how many are not going to take midday meals. So, that information we generally call it as data. Okay children. What do you mean by observations children? You are right again. The numerical entries in the data are called observations, like the age of the children, say some 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, so on. So, these numerical entries, that is 10, 11, 12, so on, those are called the observations. So, children, today we are going to learn about mean, mode and median in our session. At the end of this session, you will learn organizing the data, arithmetic mean or mean, mode of the data, and also you will learn median of the data. So, here is a school. I think they are celebrating Children's Day and they have conducted some competitions for children. Wow, I think there is a long jump going on. So, many children have participated. Here you can see Kumar, Vijay, Narendra and so on. These children have participated in long jump. And you can also see the distance they have jumped. Kumar 3.5 meters, Vijay 4.2 meters, Narendra 4.5 meters, Shankar 3.75 meters, Gopal 3.05 meters, Shravan 4.1 meter, Srinivas 3.9 meters. Now, let us arrange this data again, whatever is shown on your screen, in a proper manner. You can see the table as shown, right. Now, children, let us ask some questions on this given data, okay, in the first case and in the second case. Now, who jumped more distance and also who jumped the least distance? Now, which two data you are going to prefer children? Are you going to prefer the first one, that is this data, or to answer these questions, or you are going to prefer this data for answering these two questions? Let us see. So, if you notice out of these two, the second data is organized in a proper manner. If you notice, everything is arranged in an increasing order, right. Now, it is easy for us to answer, right. So, who jumped more distance? That is right, Narendra. And who jumped least distance? You are right once again, it is Gopal. So, out of these two data, this data is organized properly or in a proper manner. Such type of data we call it as organized data. Okay children. So, what is organized data? This data which is organized in a proper way, so that we can easily draw the conclusions, that is called organized data. Now, in this data you cannot conclude seeing the data, you need to check again each and everything, it is time consuming. Whereas, if you arrange the data this way, it is easier for anybody to draw the conclusions. Now, let us learn about another concept, that is representative values. We have three representative values children. They are mean, mode and median. Now, in our session first we are going to discuss about the mean. Let us see what actually mean is. Now, consider an example, say the marks scored by Ravi. So, Ravi has scored some marks here in his examination, that is 75, 62, 81, 89, 54 and 83. Now, we are going to find the average marks obtained by Ravi in this examination. So, children, let us see what are the marks scored by Ravi. Now, what are the total marks scored by Ravi then in all these subjects? Yes, it is obtained by just adding 75, 62, 81, 89, 54 and 83. Okay children. Now, what is sum of all these things? 444 we got. To find the average marks obtained, we divide the total marks with the number of subjects. So, how many subjects are there children here? Yes, we have 6 subjects. So, we are going to divide the total, that is 444 by 6. Now, let us divide them. 6 goes one time, and whereas in 444 it goes 74 times. So, what is the result you got children? You are right, 74. That means, the average marks obtained by Ravi is 74. What do you mean by this children? Does it mean that Ravi got 74 marks in each and every subject? No, it is just a representative value, right. It does not mean that he got 74 in all the subjects. He may got more than 74 or less than 74 also. Okay, children. So, this average of the data is called mean or arithmetic mean, and the formula to find the arithmetic mean is sum of all the observations divided by the number of observations. And one more important thing children, the arithmetic mean always lies between the highest and the lowest observations of the data. So, whatever the data is given, it lies between the highest and the lowest values of the data. So, children, you have learnt about the arithmetic mean or mean, that is one of the representative values, right. So, now we are going to learn another representative value, that is mode of the data. So, let us take a scenario now. Look at this bakery. Yes, here is the owner of the bakery, and there are a lot of items sold in this bakery, like the burger, pizza, chocolates, ice cream, so on. There are a lot of things sold in this bakery. He is having the stock of all these items in equal numbers, but still he is unable to make the proper profit. But how to make the more profit out of these items? Let us help the shopkeeper to gain more and more profit. For this, we are going to consider the number of items sold in a day. So, burgers 15 are sold, pizza 27, chocolates 45, ice creams 30, coffee 18, soft drinks 24 and biscuits 32. So, if you notice all these things, these are sold in one day. Out of all these things, notice that chocolates are sold in more number. What is that children? Yes, there are 45 chocolates sold in a day. So, if the shopkeeper is going to have these chocolates more in his stock and less in other items, then he get more profit. Now, this 45 which is repeated more number of times is called the mode of the data. So, your mode is what? Chocolates, because this chocolate is repeated 45 times. So, the observation which repeats more number of times is generally called as the mode of the data. So, how do we define children? The most frequently occurring value for a set of observations is called the mode. So, I think you have understood the concept of mode. Okay, children. So, to understand more, let us take example of a bar graph. Now, let us draw the bar graph for all the items and also the number of items sold. Now, seeing this bar graph, what can you conclude children? Out of all these huge towers, which is the highest one or which has more length? Yes, if you notice, this one, that is chocolates, has highest length. What do you mean by that? It means these chocolates are sold more in number. So, then the shopkeeper has to maintain more stock of these chocolates to get more profit. So, children, let us take an example of mode to understand the concept much more clearly. Find the mode of the data 11, 15, 8, 7, 11, 10, 8, 7, 9, 6, 11 and 5. So, what is the data given children? Yes, you can see it on the screen, that is the data, that is observations of the data. Now, they are not arranged in proper way. Now, let us arrange all these numbers in a proper way as shown, that is in an ascending order. First, we will take the least one, that is 5, repeated only once, then 6 once, whereas 7, if you notice, it is repeated twice, 2 times, 8 repeated twice, 2 times, 9 once, 10 once, whereas 11, if you notice, it is repeated thrice, and finally, we have 15 only one time. So, this is how we arrange the data. This is the organization of data, right children? We have already learned it. Now, out of all these things, which is repeated more number of times? Right, 11 is repeated more number of times. How many times it is repeated children? Yes, it is repeated 3 times. So, this number 11 is called the mode of the data, because it is repeated more number of times. So, take a look at another example shown here. We are going to find the mode of the given data. So, what will you do children now? Again we are going to arrange this data in a proper way, that is in ascending order. At the same time, we see that all the numbers which are repeated will be placed at one place. Let us see the arrangement. So, this data is not organized. We are going to organize this data as shown. We get 21 repeated 2 times, 23 repeated 3 times, and so on. Now, out of all these children, which is repeated more number of times? Yes, if you see 22 is repeated 3 times and even 29 also is repeated 3 times. So, both these observations 22 and 29 repeated maximum times and both are same times they have repeated. Okay? So, 29 and 22 occur more number of times. So, we say the mode of the data is 22 and 29. So, children, in the previous case we have seen only one mode, but whereas in the second case we have seen there are 2 modes. Okay, children, that is 22 and 29. Such data is called bimodal data. Let us see what do you mean by bimodal data. If a data has only one mode, then it is called a unimodal data, whereas if a data has 2 modes, then it is called a bimodal data. Finally, if each observation of a data is repeated equal number of times, then there won't be any mode children. That is, if an observations are there 10 observations and all observations are repeated same number of times, then there is no mode. And also if no observation is repeated, then also there is no mode. Okay, children, we have understood the concept of mean and also mode. These are the 2 representative values. Now, what is the third representative value? Yes, that is the median. Now, we are going to learn more about the third representative value, that is median. Take a look at this industry. There are many people working in the industry, right? Do you think all of them will have the same salary? No. If you look at the salary chart over here, you can notice that manager is drawing a salary of 52,500, whereas the worker 1 is drawing 7,000, worker 2 is drawing 6,000, and so on. So, these are salary particulars of some employees in an industry. Now, seeing this, can we say the mean salary or the mode of the salaries are the representative values for this data? Let us see. So, for that we need to calculate both mean salary and also mode of the salaries. So, let us calculate them now. So, children, we have already seen the formula to find arithmetic mean, that is sum of all the observations divided by the number of observations. So, here what are the observations, children? Yes, you can see those observations, right? All those salaries, they are nothing but the observations. So, we need to find the sum of all these observations, that means we will add all these salaries. On adding, you get 91,000. So, we are going to write it as 91,000 divided by 7. But why 7, children, here? Because the number of observations, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, there are 7 observations. So, we divide it by 7. Now, let us simplify this. 7 goes in this one time, and whereas in 91,000 it goes 13,000 times. So, what did you get, children, now? Yes, the mean salary is 13,000 rupees. Now, let us see the other one, that is mode of the salary. So, here which is the observation repeated more number of times? Yes, this salary is 6,000, 2 employees are getting 6,000 salary. So, that means 6,000 is repeated 2 times. So, the observation which is repeated more number of times is the mode. Okay, children. Is this salary a representative value of the salaries of either the manager or the workers? No. Managers is 52,500, whereas workers they vary, right? All the workers are not getting 6,000. Now, let us see the other representative value, median now. So, first we arrange all the salaries in a proper way, that is the ascending order, or you may arrange in descending order also, it is up to you. So, I am arranging in ascending order. So, first we start with the least one 5,500, then 6,000 repeated twice, 6,500, 7,000, and then we have 7,500 and last 52,500. Now, out of these values the middlemost value of the data is called the median. So, out of all these, which is the middlemost value, children? Yes, 6500. Now, we have made it into two equal groups, where one group is getting less than 6500 children, whereas the other group is getting more than 6500 children. This observation 6500 is called the median of the data. So, median of the data is nothing but it is the middlemost observation when all the observations are arranged in either ascending order or descending order. So, this is very important, children. Before you find median, first thing is you need to arrange the data in either ascending order or the descending order. So, to understand more about this, let us take one more example, children. The height of 8 students are 141 centimeters, 138 centimeters, 150 centimeters, 145 centimeters, 140 centimeters, 145 centimeters, 135 centimeters and 132 centimeters. We have to find the median height of the students. So, let us start, children. So, what are the heights, children? Yes, we are going to arrange the heights in ascending order. And children, it is not necessary that always you need to arrange in ascending order, even you can arrange in descending order also. How many number of observations are there, children? Yes, we have 8 observations, that means even number of observations. Now, in such cases, what is actually the median? Median is the middlemost observation, right, when they are arranged in either ascending or descending order. But here you do not have one middle term, we have two middle terms, that is 140 centimeters and 141 centimeters. Then how to calculate the median of such data? So, for this we are going to take the average of the 4th and the 5th terms, that is the 4th and 5th observations, you can say. So, let us find the average of these two children, that is 140 centimeters and 141 centimeters. So, average is nothing but mean, right. So, 140 plus 141 divided by 2, because there are 2 observations. So, in adding, what do you get, children? Yes, we get 281 divided by 2. Let us divide them. We get 140.5 centimeters. So, this is called the median height of the students. So, children, we have learnt organizing the data and also calculating arithmetic mean or mean, mode and median of the data. To understand much more clearly about these concepts, let us solve some problems. In a set of 4 integers, the average of the first 2 smallest integers is 102, the average of the 3 smallest integers is 103, the average of all 4 is 104, which is the greatest of all these integers. So, children, there are 4 integers, we do not know those integers, and we are going to find out the greatest integer of all these things. So, let us assume the integers as a, b, c and d. So, a less than b, less than c and c less than d, which means d is the greatest integer. So, we are going to find the value of d here. Given average of 2 smallest integers is 1 or 2. So, children, what are the smallest integers here? A and b are both smallest integers, right. So, what is the average? Average is nothing but the arithmetic mean, which is given by sum of all observations by number of observations. Let us find. So, a plus b by 2 is 102, because the average of smallest 2 is 1 or 2. Now, what will be a plus b, children? Yes, 2 into 1 or 2, that gives 204. So, we got a plus b is equal to 204 as our first case. Now, let us move on to our second condition, that is average of 3 smallest numbers is 103. So, let us calculate the average, that is a plus b plus c divided by 3 equal to 103. Now, sending these 3 to RHS, we get a plus b plus 3 is 3 into 103, which is 309. But notice, children, a plus b is 204, we already got in the first condition. Now, let us substitute the value of a plus b as 204. So, we get 204 plus c equal to 309. Let us solve this equation now. So, what is the value of c, children? Yes, we get 309 minus, we are going to send 204 to RHS, it will become minus 204. So, we get 309 minus 204. On subtracting this, we get 105. Therefore, the value of C is 105 children. Is the problem completed? No. Here D is the greatest of all these integers. So, we need to find the value of D, but we got only C. Now, let us see how to find the value of D. So, for that we are going to use the last condition, that is the average of all the 4 integers is 104. That means A plus B plus C plus D divided by 4 is 104. Now, again we are going to send this 4 to right side. So, how much it will become children? 4 into 104, that is A plus B plus C plus D is 4 into 104. On multiplying this we get 416. But we already got A plus B plus C as 309. Now, instead of this A plus B plus C, we substitute 309. So, 309 plus D is 416. So, the value of D is 416 minus 309. So, subtract children, what do you get? Yes, you are right. So, on subtracting you get the value of D as 107. So, what do you conclude children from this? The greatest of all the integers is 107. Let us move on to our next problem. The height of a group of 10 students of class 7 are 101, 112, 109, 103, 126, 121, 116, 108, 118 and 103 centimeters. Find the median height of the students. So, let us start with the solution. So, children, these are the observations given to us, that is nothing but the height of the children, okay, that is given in centimeters. If you notice that the data is not organized in a proper way. So, before we find median children, we have already learned that we need to arrange the data in either ascending or descending order. Now, let us arrange it in ascending order. So, median is the middle observation when all observations are arranged in ascending or descending order. Height of students in ascending order, you can see it on the screen children. We have arranged it in ascending order. Number of observations are 10. That means, we get 2 medians, that is 109 and 112. And the median of this data is obtained by finding the average of the 5th and the 6th terms. Let us find the average now. So, median is 109 plus 112 by 2. On adding you get 221 by 2, and on dividing 221 with 2 we get 110.5 centimeters. Therefore, the median height of the students is 110.5 centimeters. Let us move on to our next problem. Ages of players in a football team are 22, 27, 26, 21, 25, 24, 26, 27, 29, 27 and 21 years. Find the mean and mode of the data. Also, find the minimum number of players to be added to the above team so that mode of the data changes and what must be their ages. Let us start with the solution. So, given ages of players as shown on your screen. Now, in the first case we are going to find the mean and mode of the data. So, first we will start with mean. So, children, what is the formula to find mean? Yes, arithmetic mean is sum of all the observations divided by the number of observations. That means, we are going to add 22 plus 27 plus 26 plus so on up to 21 and divided by 11. Why we are taking 11 children here? If you notice here we are taking 11. Why? Because the number of observations, that is nothing but the number of players in this team are 11. So, we are dividing with 11. So, on adding all these things we get 275 by 11. Let us simplify this further children. We get 25. That means, the mean of age of the players in the football team is 25 years. So, now we got the mean. Now, let us find out the next one, that is mode of the data. Okay, children. The observation that occurs more number of times or more frequently is called the mode of the data. Now, here which is the observation children? Repeated more number of times? Yes. You can see the highlighted portion, that is 27 is repeated 3 times. So, we say 27 is the mode of the data, which means mode of age of players is 27 years. So, we have completed the first part. Now, let us move on to our next part. So, let us arrange this data in a tabular form. So, age of the players, that is 21, 22, 24, so on up to 29 we have, okay, and number of times the age is repeated of these players. So, if you notice 21 is repeated 2 times, then again if you notice 22 is only repeated once. So, 22 is 1. Then what about 24 children? Yes, that is also 1 time. Next we will move on to age 25. So, that is also repeated once. 26 years, if you notice it is repeated twice. So, we write 2 against 26 years age. And what about 27 children? Yes, repeated 3 times. You can see the highlighted parts there. So, write down 3, and finally, we move on to 29. This is repeated only once. So, this is the number of times their ages are repeated. Now, children, out of all these things, which is repeated more number of times? Yes, 27 is repeated more number of times, that is 3 times. So, that is the mode of the data we have already calculated. Okay. Now, if you notice another one, that is age 21 is repeated 2 times. So, what actually we are finding here? We are finding the mode of the data changes when what must be their ages. So, we need to add minimum number of players. The frequency or repeated number of times is 2. If I add 1 to this, that is 1 more player of age 21, both will become 3 and the mode will not change. It will be 21 and 27 both. So, that is what I should do. I should add 2 players of age 21. So, when I add 2 players of age 21, so here it will become 4. So, mode will become 21 years. So, mode has changed. But children, notice that 2 players of age 26, if you are going to add, the mode will be changed to 26 instead of 27. So, we can add either 2 players of 21 years or even 2 players of 26 years to change the mode. Okay, children. So, let us move on to our next problem. Rice consumed in a hostel 5 consecutive days is shown, and we have to find the average rice consumption for these 5 days. Let us start with the solution. So, this is given to us, that is rice consumed in 5 days, and children, the formula to find arithmetic mean is sum of all observations divided by the number of observations. So, let us add all these observations, that is 28.750 so on up to 25.250 divided by 5, because there are only 5 observations. Adding this, we get 129.750. On simplifying this further, we get 25.950, which means the average rice consumption for 5 days is 25.950 kgs. So, children, you have learnt the concepts of mean, mode and median, and also solved some of the problems. So, before we end our session, let us have a quick recap of what we have learnt. Arithmetic mean or mean is equal to sum of all the observations of a data set divided by the number of observations, and arithmetic mean always lies between the lowest and the highest values of the data, and the formula to calculate arithmetic mean or simply mean is sum of all observations divided by the number of observations. An observation that occurs more frequently or that occurs many times is called the mode of the data, and if the data has only one mode, we call it as a unimodal data, whereas if the data has 2 modes, we call it as bimodal data. If no observation in a data is repeated, then the data has no mode. If each observation in a data is repeated equal number of times, then also the data will not have any mode. And median is the middlemost observation when all observations are arranged in either ascending or the descending order. So, children, I am going to give you some problems to work it in your home and show to your teacher. Okay, children. So, these are all based on the concept that we have already learnt. Let us see those problems. Maximum temperature recorded in a village for 5 consecutive days is given. Now, we are going to find the maximum and minimum temperatures of the week and also the average temperature of the week. So, average temperature is nothing but arithmetic mean. Okay, children. Find the mean of first 8 prime numbers. The weight of 9 students are given. You have to find the mode of this data. The income of 8 members is given on your screen. Find the median of the data. So, children, with this we will come to the end of our session. I hope you have learnt all the concepts much more clearly. So, we will meet in our next digital class. Till then,
TSAT వీక్షకులకు నమస్కారం. మనం ఇప్పుడు జూన్ నెలకు సంబంధించిన కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్లో భాగంగా పలు ఇంపార్టెంట్ డేస్ గురించి చర్చించుకుందాం. ఏ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్కు అయినా ఈ ఇంపార్టెంట్ డేస్ అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఈ ఇంపార్టెంట్ డేస్ ఎప్పుడు జరిగాయి, దాని యొక్క బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఏంటి, ఆ ఇంపార్టెంట్ డేస్ యొక్క ఈ ఇయర్ థీమ్ ఏంటి, ఇలాంటి చాలా క్వశ్చన్స్ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్లో అడిగే అవకాశం ఉంది. సో మొట్టమొదటి అంశం వరల్డ్ మిల్క్ డే. వరల్డ్ మిల్క్ డేని ఎప్పుడు జరుపుకుంటామంటే జూన్ 1న. ఎప్పుడు? జూన్ 1న. సో ఈ ఇయర్ వరల్డ్ మిల్క్ డే యొక్క థీమ్